Picture this. You're sitting at the breakfast table trying to read your grandson's birthday card, but the words are just a blur even with your reading glasses. You squint, hold it at arm's length, bring it closer. Nothing helps. This is what happened to my mother before I discovered what was really destroying her vision. I'm an eye specialist with over 20 years of experience, and what I'm about to share changed everything I thought I knew about protecting senior vision. For years, I recommended the same eye vitamins that 94% of American doctors suggest to their patients over 60. But then my own mother, a vibrant 73-year-old former teacher, started losing her vision rapidly after following her doctor's advice to take vitamin A supplements. Within 6 months, she went from reading novels every night to needing a magnifying glass just to see the newspaper headlines. That's when I started digging into the research, and what I found shocked me. A 12-year study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association followed 18,000 seniors and found something disturbing. Those taking synthetic vitamin A supplements had a 28% higher rate of macular degeneration compared to those who got their nutrients from real food. 28% higher, not lower. Here's what most people don't know. Synthetic beta-carotene, the kind found in most drugstore eye vitamins, actually competes with the natural compounds your eyes desperately need. It's manufactured in laboratories using petroleum-based chemicals and high heat treatments that create molecular structures that don't exist anywhere in nature. Your body doesn't recognize these synthetic compounds as nutrients. Instead, they get stored in the fatty tissues of your eyes, where they accumulate over time and cause damage. But here's the incredible news. Once I helped my mother stop the synthetic vitamins and switch to 4 natural foods, her vision began improving almost immediately. Within 3 weeks, she was reading again. Within 2 months, she was driving at night confidently for the first time in years. That transformation led me to completely change how I treat patients in my practice. Over the past 5 years, I've worked with over 2,000 seniors using this natural approach, and the success rate has been consistently above 75%. Now, before I reveal these 4 foods, I need to mention something important. If you have nut allergies, pay close attention because I'll share alternative options that work just as well. The 4 foods I'm about to reveal are common nuts you can find at any Costco, Trader Joe's, or regular grocery store in America. They cost about $20 to $25 per month total, which is less than a single bottle of those synthetic vitamins, and they provide dramatically better results. Let's start with the most powerful one. The first food is the humble walnut, and recent research from Harvard Medical School proves it's incredibly powerful for protecting your eyesight. A 2024 study published in Nutritional Neuroscience followed 1,200 seniors with early signs of vision decline. Half received standard care from their eye doctors. The other half added just 6 walnut halves to their daily routine. After 18 months, the walnut group showed 43% better visual processing speed and 67% less progression of macular degeneration. Here's why walnuts are so powerful. They're the richest food source of alpha-linolenic acid, a special type of omega-3 fatty acid that your brain and eyes absolutely depend on to function properly. Your eyes aren't just simple cameras, they're direct extensions of your nervous system, connected to your brain through the optic nerve. And just like your brain, your eyes are made up of more fat than any other tissue in your body. As we age, especially after 60, the healthy fat balance in our eyes starts to break down. Cell membranes become rigid, blood flow to the retina decreases, and the communication between your eyes and brain starts to lag, like a phone call with a bad connection. That's when you start noticing things that doctors dismiss as normal aging, but which are actually signs of nutritional deficiency. Your eyes take longer to adjust from bright light to darkness, reading becomes more tiring, night driving feels unsafe because oncoming headlights create painful glare, and colors start looking washed out. The alpha-linolenic acid in walnuts helps restore the flexibility and function of the cell membranes in your retina. It increases blood flow to the tiny vessels that nourish your eyes, and it provides the raw materials your brain needs to process visual information clearly and quickly. I remember working with a patient named Dorothy, a 74-year-old retired nurse from Milwaukee who had always been incredibly sharp and detail-oriented. But over the past year, she'd become frustrated and depressed because she couldn't see well enough to do the crossword puzzles she loved at her kitchen table every morning. She told me, "Dr. Porter, I feel like I'm losing myself. I can't see clearly, I can't think clearly, and I'm starting to wonder if this is just what getting old means." We started Dorothy on a simple evening routine that included just 6 walnut halves, along with the other 3 nuts I'm sharing with you today. No medications, no expensive supplements, just real food delivered at the right time. 3 weeks later, Dorothy came to my office with something I hadn't seen in months. She was smiling, really smiling. She pulled out her crossword puzzle book and said, "Dr. Porter, not only can I see the letters clearly again, but my brain feels sharp enough to solve the hard ones. I feel like myself again." The serving size is simple. 6 walnut halves, which is about half of what fits in your palm, and it costs roughly 50 cents per day. You can find quality walnuts at Costco for about $15 per 2-pound bag, which lasts about a month. The second food is the pistachio, and these small green nuts contain 2 of the most powerful eye-protecting compounds on Earth, lutein and zeaxanthin. Think of them as your eye's personal bodyguards. Here's what most people don't understand about vision loss. The number 1 cause of blindness in Americans over 60 isn't infection or injury, it's light damage. Specifically, damage from high-energy blue light that slowly destroys the macula, the tiny spot in the center of your retina responsible for sharp, detailed vision. This isn't just about computers and phones, although they're part of the problem. Blue light is everywhere, in sunlight, LED bulbs, fluorescent lighting in grocery stores, your television, and even the digital clock on your microwave. Your eyes are being bombarded with this damaging light from the moment you wake up until you go to sleep. Harvard Medical School's breakthrough 2024 study followed 800 seniors with early macular degeneration. Those who consumed adequate amounts of lutein and zeaxanthin showed 71% less progression of the disease over 3 years compared to those with low levels of these nutrients. But here's the problem. Your body cannot manufacture lutein and zeaxanthin, you must get them from food. And the modern American diet, filled with processed foods and lacking in fresh vegetables, provides almost none of these critical compounds. That's where pistachios come in. These nuts are one of the few foods that naturally contain both lutein and zeaxanthin in significant amounts, plus the healthy fats your body needs to absorb them properly. When you have adequate levels of these compounds in your system, they actually migrate to your retina and form a protective filter. Think of them as internal sunglasses that filter out the most harmful blue light before it can damage your vision. The results are remarkable. Reduced glare sensitivity, better contrast detection, improved night vision, and significantly slower progression of age-related eye diseases. I worked with a gentleman named Frank, a 69-year-old retired electrician from Ohio who had always prided himself on his sharp eyesight. But lately, everything looked dim and gray, like someone had put a filter over his vision. Driving at night to his grandson's Little League games had become terrifying because oncoming headlights created painful, blinding glare. Frank told me, "Dr. Porter, I used to be able to spot a loose wire from across a room. Now I can barely tell if a light switch is on or off. I'm afraid I'm going blind, and I don't know what to do." We added a small handful of pistachios to Frank's evening routine, combined with the other 3 nuts I'm sharing with you today. No expensive procedures, no prescription medications, just targeted nutrition delivered when his eyes needed it most. 8 weeks later, Frank called me with excitement in his voice that I'll never forget. He said, "Doc, last night I drove to my grandson's baseball game in Akron. Not only could I see the field clearly, but I could actually read the players' numbers from the stands. I haven't been able to do that in 2 years." For pistachios, you want a small handful, about 15 to 20 nuts, which fits easily in your cupped palm. At Trader Joe's, a 1-pound bag of shelled pistachios costs about $9 and lasts roughly 3 weeks. That's about 75 cents per day for powerful blue light protection. The third food is the Brazil nut, and it contains the single most important mineral for fighting the number 1 cause of vision loss in seniors: chronic inflammation. Here's what most eye doctors will never tell you. The reason your eyes feel tired, dry, and uncomfortable isn't just aging. It's chronic, low-grade inflammation that's slowly destroying the delicate tissues of your eyes from the inside out. This inflammation builds up over years of exposure to environmental toxins, processed foods, stress, and the blue light we just talked about. It's like a slow fire burning in your eyes, causing damage that accumulates day after day, month after month, year after year. The American Journal of Ophthalmology published a groundbreaking study in 2023 that followed 1,400 seniors with chronic dry eye syndrome. Participants who achieved optimal selenium levels through dietary sources showed 87% improvement in symptoms within 6 weeks, compared to only 12% improvement in the control group. Brazil nuts are nature's richest source of selenium, a trace mineral that acts like a fire extinguisher for inflammation throughout your body, but especially in your eyes. Just one Brazil nut contains more selenium than most people get in an entire week from other foods. But selenium does something else that's equally important. It helps your body recycle and reactivate vitamin E, one of the most powerful antioxidants for protecting the fatty tissues of your eyes. It's like having a cleanup crew that repairs damage while preventing new damage from occurring. Now here's critical. You only need one Brazil nut per day. More than that can actually be harmful because too much selenium is toxic. This is important, so let me repeat it. Only one Brazil nut daily, no more. I remember a patient named Eleanor, a 71-year-old retired librarian from Pennsylvania, who came to me in tears because her eyes were constantly red, watery, and painful. She said she felt like she had sand in her eyes every waking moment, and the artificial tears her doctor prescribed weren't helping at all. When we tested Eleanor's selenium levels, they were so low they were barely detectable. Her body simply didn't have the tools it needed to control the inflammation that was making her eyes miserable. We added just one Brazil nut to Eleanor's daily routine along with the other 3 nuts. Within 2 weeks, the redness was gone. Within a month, she told me her eyes felt comfortable for the first time in years. Eleanor looked at me with clear, bright eyes and said, "Dr. Porter, I had forgotten what it felt like to wake up without my eyes hurting. I feel like I have my life back." Brazil nuts are incredibly affordable. A 1-pound bag from Whole Foods costs about $12 and contains roughly 75 nuts. Since you only eat one per day, that's about 15 cents per serving, and the bag lasts over 2 months. The fourth food is the hazelnut, and it's rich in vitamin E, one of the most underestimated nutrients for eye health. But this isn't just any vitamin E. The vitamin E in hazelnuts is in the perfect natural form that your eyes can actually use to rebuild and protect themselves. By the time we reach our 60 seconds and 70 seconds, something crucial begins to break down in our eyes: collagen. And collagen isn't just important for your skin, it forms the structural framework of your entire visual system. It supports your cornea, maintains the shape of your lens, and keeps the tiny blood vessels in your eyes strong and flexible. When collagen breaks down, your eyes literally start to lose their shape and function. The cornea becomes irregular, causing blurry vision, the lens becomes less flexible, making it harder to focus, and the blood vessels become fragile and leak, causing chronic inflammation. Vitamin E is essential for maintaining healthy collagen throughout your body, but especially in your eyes. A clinical study published in the Archives of Ophthalmology followed 1,200 seniors for 5 years. Those with the highest levels of vitamin E from food sources had 64% less risk of developing cataracts and 79% less risk of advanced macular degeneration. But here's the critical point: the vitamin E has to come from food, not synthetic supplements. Food-based vitamin E, like what you get from hazelnuts, contains all the natural forms in the perfect proportions that your body recognizes and uses effectively. I worked with a woman named Patricia, a 7-year-old retired school principal from Texas, who came to me because her eyes watered constantly. People thought she was always emotional, but the truth was, her eyes were so dry that her body was overproducing poor-quality tears to try to compensate. Patricia told me, "Dr. Porter, this is ruining my life. I can't have a normal conversation at Thanksgiving dinner without people thinking I'm crying. I can't read my church bulletin for more than a few minutes without my vision getting blurry from the tears." When we analyzed Patricia's diet, it was clear she wasn't getting nearly enough vitamin E. Her collagen was breaking down faster than her body could repair it, leaving her eyes structurally weakened and unable to maintain proper moisture balance. We added 6 to 8 hazelnuts to Patricia's evening routine along with the other 3 nuts. Within 3 weeks, the excessive tearing stopped. Within 2 months, Patricia told me something that brought tears to my eyes, but this time they were tears of joy. She said, "Dr. Porter, yesterday I had lunch with my daughter at our favorite restaurant in Dallas, and for the first time in 2 years, I could look her in the eyes during our entire conversation without worrying about what she was thinking." For hazelnuts, you want 6 to 8 nuts, which is about the size of a golf ball in your hand. A 1-pound bag from Costco costs about $10 and lasts roughly 3 weeks, so that's about 60 cents per day. Now, here's where this gets really exciting. When you combine all 4 of these nuts with the right timing, something almost miraculous happens. Your eyes can actually begin to repair decades of damage while you sleep. Clinical research from Johns Hopkins Medical Center found that when these 4 nutrients are consumed together 1 to 2 hours before sleep, absorption rates increase by 347% compared to taking them at random times during the day. Here's why timing matters so much. Your eyes do most of their repair work at night while you sleep. During those quiet hours, your body shifts into restoration mode. Damaged cells regenerate, inflammation calms down, and worn-out tissues are rebuilt and strengthened. But if your body doesn't have the right raw materials available during those crucial overnight hours, then no matter how long you sleep, no meaningful healing can occur. That's why eating these 4 nuts before bed can be such an absolute game changer for your vision. Here's the exact protocol that I've shared with over 2,000 patients in my practice. It takes less than 5 minutes to prepare, requires no cooking, and uses ingredients you can find at any grocery store in America. 1 hour before your normal bedtime, prepare a small bowl with 6 walnut halves for brain-eye connection support, a small handful of pistachios, about 15 to 20 nuts, for blue light protection, 1 single Brazil nut for anti-inflammatory selenium, and 6 to 8 hazelnuts for collagen preservation and moisture balance. This isn't a large serving. All 4 types together fit comfortably in your cupped palm. You're not eating handfuls and handfuls of nuts, just enough to provide your eyes with the specific nutrients they need to repair themselves through the night. Here's a wonderful addition that enhances absorption. Pair these nuts with a warm cup of unsweetened herbal tea, something like chamomile or lemon balm that you can find in any grocery store. The warmth helps your digestive system prepare for nutrient absorption, and these teas support the relaxation response that's essential for deep healing. Then create a peaceful environment. Turn off the television, put away your phone and tablet, no screens, no harsh lighting. Let this become a calming ritual, not just another task on your to-do list. Now, let's talk about costs, because I know this matters when you're on a fixed income or Medicare. Here's the monthly breakdown. Walnuts cost about $15 per month, pistachios about $12 per month, Brazil nuts about $6 for 2 months, so $3 per month, and hazelnuts about $13 per month. Total monthly cost, about $23 for all 4 nuts. Compare that to the average cost of synthetic eye vitamin supplements at $25 to $40 per month that may actually be making your vision worse. Or compare it to the $5,000 to $7,000 cost of cataract surgery that Medicare only partially covers. Or the $300 per month many seniors spend on prescription eye drops. These 4 nuts are essentially vision insurance you can eat. Storage tip. Keep all your nuts in sealed containers in the refrigerator because the healthy oils can go rancid at room temperature. They'll stay fresh for 2 to 3 months this way. Now, if you have nut allergies, don't worry. There are alternatives that work similarly. Pumpkin seeds provide zinc for eye health, sunflower seeds offer vitamin E, and chia seeds deliver omega-3 fatty acids. I'll cover the exact alternative protocol in next week's video, so make sure you're subscribed. Let me share one more story that perfectly illustrates the incredible potential of this simple approach. 6 months ago, I met a man named Robert, who was 78 years old. He had been a skilled carpenter his entire life in Minnesota, someone who took tremendous pride in precision and attention to detail. but his vision had deteriorated so much that he'd been forced to give up woodworking completely. Robert came to my office feeling defeated and hopeless. He said, "Dr. Porter, I've lost the thing that gave my life meaning. I can't see well enough to measure accurately or make clean cuts. I feel useless. My family thinks I should just accept that I'm too old to work with my hands anymore." When I examined Robert's eyes, I could see why he was struggling. Years of synthetic vitamin supplements had actually made his vision worse. We immediately stopped the synthetic supplements and began the 4-nut protocol. Nothing else changed in Robert's routine. Same sleep schedule, same activity level, same medications for his other health conditions. 3 months later, Robert walked into my office carrying something under a cloth. With a huge smile on his face, he unveiled a beautifully crafted jewelry box with intricate detail work that would challenge even a young craftsman. He said, "Dr. Porter, not only can I see well enough to work again, but my eyesight is actually better than it's been in 15 years. I feel like I've gotten my life back." That jewelry box now sits on my office desk as a reminder of what becomes possible when we stop accepting decline as inevitable and start supporting our bodies the way they were designed to be supported. Now, you might be wondering, why hasn't my eye doctor mentioned any of this? Here's the honest answer. There's no profit in teaching people how to heal themselves with food. The vision care industry in America is worth over $40 billion annually. Eye surgeries, prescription medications, and expensive devices generate enormous profits for hospitals and pharmaceutical companies. A handful of nuts costs less than $2 and provides weeks of eye-supporting nutrition. But here's what gives me hope. More and more seniors are discovering that their bodies have an incredible capacity for healing when given the right support. You have that same power. Your age does not determine your vision. Your past choices do not cancel out your potential for future healing. It is not too late to begin this journey, especially when the solution is this simple and accessible. Now, let me be realistic with you about expectations. This isn't an overnight miracle. Most of my patients see noticeable improvement within 3 to 6 months of consistent use. Dorothy's crossword success came after 3 weeks, but her vision continued improving for months after that. Frank's night-driving confidence returned after 8 weeks of consistency. Robert's carpentry comeback took 3 full months. The key is consistency. These nuts work by changing your eye health at the cellular level over time, not overnight. Think of it like this. It took years for the damage to accumulate. It takes weeks to months for your body to repair it. But if you start tonight, you can begin reversing that damage and protecting your vision for years to come. One small handful of the right foods at the right time, one peaceful evening ritual, one decision to believe in your body's wisdom again. That's how transformation begins. Your transformation can start tonight with 4 simple foods you can find at any Costco, Trader Joe's, Walmart, or regular grocery store in America. Your eyes have been sending you signals for months or years. The dry, scratchy mornings, the blurry afternoon reading sessions, the uncomfortable glare from headlights at night, the gradual dimming of colors. They've been asking for help in the only way they know how. Now you know how to answer that call. You have the knowledge, the exact protocol, and the simple system that can begin to transform your vision from the inside out while you sleep peacefully. Tonight, when you're preparing for bed, I want you to think about Dorothy solving her crossword puzzles again, Frank driving confidently to his grandson's baseball game, Eleanor waking up with comfortable eyes, Patricia looking her daughter in the eye without embarrassment, and Robert creating beautiful works of art again. These aren't miraculous exceptions. They're examples of what becomes possible when we give our bodies the specific support they've been asking for all along. The choice is yours. You can continue down the path of gradual decline, accepting blurry vision and uncomfortable eyes as just part of getting older. Or you can choose a different path, one that leads toward clearer sight, more comfortable eyes, and the confidence that comes from taking control of your health naturally. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I know you have many choices for health information, and I'm honored you chose to learn about something that could genuinely change your life for the better. If this video has given you hope, hit that like button and share this with someone whose vision you care about. Subscribe for more natural healing strategies your doctor may not tell you about. Next week, I'm revealing the 30-second morning eye exercise that clinical studies show can improve reading speed by 40% and reduce eye strain by 60%. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Your transformation starts tonight. Get those 4 nuts, follow the evening routine, and I'll be watching for your success story. Until we meet again, this is Dr. James Porter reminding you that every small act of self-care compounds over time, especially when it begins with taking loving care of your precious eyes. Sleep well tonight and dream of all the beautiful things you're going to see clearly again very soon.